Hello, ninth graders. I want to explain to you a project that we do every year in the Information Technology Unit. It's called Find the Internet in Your City. And what this project is creating two selfies that you submit for a test grade. And it has to be a selfie with a piece of internet that we see around the city, like physical internet that we see around the city. And I'm going to give you some examples of what to look for. But very briefly, the composition rules are you have to have yourself in the picture. Okay, so your face has to be in the picture. I have to be able to see it. I'm not going to publish these pictures anywhere, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just to make sure that you're not taking a picture from the internet and submitting it as if it's your own. You have to include the location, so the cross streets of where you're finding this. It has to be of two different types of infrastructure, and again, I'll go over what those types are in a second. You have to have a comment that includes the name of the infrastructure, and each picture is worth 50 points. And the pictures have to be attached to the Google Classroom assignment. Okay, so all around the city there are pieces of physical internet, right? We think of the internet as being like, these signals that we receive on our computers and our phones, but only the ends of the internet are wireless. Every other part of the internet is wired. So I'm getting a wireless signal to my computer right now and to my phone right now, but if I look around the room, there are boxes and routers that are sending the signal to my phone and to my computer. From that router, the router is connected into a jack in the wall, and there is a cord that goes all the way down the wall into a junction box outside of the school. And then underneath the city, we have all these cords that are connecting, all these wires that are connecting the junction boxes to the servers that are way out in the middle of the country. So every single part of the internet has wires on it, except the end pieces. And so since we mostly deal with the end part, which is the router to your computer, we think of the internet as being wireless, but most of the internet is wired. Okay, so these junction boxes, this is where the internet comes down from out, the internet in New York City, just like the telephone lines and the electricity lines, they're all submerged underneath the streets. Okay, we don't often see, well, there are some areas in some boroughs where you see the electrical lines that are on the poles, but for the most part, inside of at least Manhattan, you see that the lines are underneath the ground. So these junction boxes bring the internet from under the ground into a building. So there's one outside of Gateway that you can see as you leave the school, and you can take a picture of that if you find it. Another thing that I want you to look for is spray paint markings. So these spray paint markings indicate that there are certain wires underneath the pavement. The orange, and only the orange, marks where there are telecommunication wires. There are other colors that indicate sewer lines, that indicate electricity lines, but the orange marks are the ones that are for telecommunication. Those are the telephone lines or the internet lines, okay? They mark them so that construction workers don't cut through these lines, but they are showing you where the physical internet is around the city, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for signs of the wires that bring the internet to your devices around the city. So the orange markers can be one of those devices, okay? Here's a key for what other marks are if you want to see what they're used to, or what they're used for, the other colors. Another one you can get is a manhole cover. Now it has to be a manhole cover that has a 6-sided hexagon on it. These are hexagons right here. It can't be the lines on it. Lines indicate that those are sewer manholes. The manhole covers with hexagons, those are where workers you take off the manhole cover and they go down into the underground in order to access the telecommunication lines. So hexagons are for communication, circles are for sewer. There's other lines for sewer too. There's other indicators on the manhole cover for New York City sewer. If you search like NYC sewer manhole covers, you would get to see like the images here. These are ones that indicate the sewer, okay? If you said telecommunication, manhole covers, you'll see that they're going to be hexagons. So I am looking for you to take a selfie with the manhole covers that are like hexagons on it. Another thing that you can look at is if you are in the outer boroughs or up in northern Manhattan, you might see cables that are on telephone lines. You could see them in New Jersey if you're like out there for the weekend or something. And you would be looking for a juncture box. This juncture box right here, this is a way to transform a cable signal from electrical to optical and back again. So if you can position yourself in a picture where your face is in the picture and you can also see one of these black boxes, that is another way to show you where the telecommunication lines are, the internet lines are. Okay. Another thing you can look for is a cell phone tower. These are panels that you'll see like in an array or in like a formation. There's one on the top of like the Seven Brothers Deli building or the Walgreens across the street. There used to be a cell phone panel. So if you can angle your phone up to get yourself in the picture with the cell phone tower, that is allowed, or just look for them around where you live, okay? They can come in weird forms too. This is just a way people try to make cell phone towers like blend in with the background. In the city, most likely you're going to see panels that are like colored the same color as the building, or white panels that are on top of the building, right? Another thing you can do is get a selfie with some of the telecommunication trucks in the building. Here are the internet service providers of New York City: Verizon, Spectrum, Optimum, Xfinity. Those are the most frequently used telecommunication services or internet service providers. So if you see a truck with people working, just get yourself as a selfie in front of that truck and that will be marked as credit. Okay. So here are some examples of students. Like this is a student from previous years. He has the indication of where he is in front of a Verizon truck. You can see these are from Verizon trucks. This is this person in front of a manhole cover. She is indicating the orange markings that indicate telecommunication lines and a manhole cover. Okay, so this person, she did the orange markings and she did a manhole cover. It has to be just you in the picture, and it has to show your face, and you can't submit the same type of internet infrastructure to receive credit for both of them. So you have to, like, this person did a Verizon truck and a manhole cover. This person did a Verizon truck and probably did another type of internet infrastructure in his other picture. Okay, so that is the project. This is worth a test grade, and your due date will show up on Google Classroom. Okay, but this is for this marking period.